Welcome once again to the Soapbox Office Podcast, the weekly visual manifestation of righteous indignation on behalf of cinephiles and film fans everywhere. Once again, serving as your usher of the entertainment world, I am Mitch Cleaver.
And I am Josh Roush. And welcome to the Soapbox Office Podcast Virtual Reality Roundup in virtual reality with our good friend,
Andrew Heberlin.
Andrew Heberlin. And as you can read above him, his Twitter handle is also Andrew Heberlin. At Andrew Heberlin. So the reason that we didn't have episode, what would that have been? 29.5, 30.5? Probably two in a row now.
Lost forever.
Lost
folks.
forever. The file got corrupted. Thank you, Samsung Gear 360. But also thank you to
we should thank Billy Jack.
That is true. And Mitch's 5 facts that went on for 36 minutes until the camera just killed itself because it was so fucking bored.
I did. I tried to add structure into the show.
How'd that work out for you?
I'm the John Henry of the modern era because I beat the machine.
All right. I like that.
I talked it till it overheated and killed itself.
Is it like in Pineapple Express when he's listening to the radio? It's just like, I got so bored, it just fucking killed itself. Also, awkwardly masturbating in the corner is our good friend, Brandon Mosavian. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, guys.
He's a fun guy. Okay, so we just shot a music video for Nick Del Pasta of To No End. You guys, let's see, I directed it. You guys were cinematographers.
Camera monkey.
Camera monkeys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to talk about your experiences on that?
It was nice. It was a good time.
Shot at the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah, we shot at the Hollywood Improv. You rigged the stage lighting out to where we didn't really have to do anything except point cameters at it.
Exactly.
That was fine by
Make it
me.
easy.
Yeah. It was early in the morning, and Nick was like worried about his voice being all raspy and pewtering out, but he got through it. How many?
Totally
he did like five, six takes?
Yeah, 5 or 6 takes. 4 full takes, and then kind of 2 just so we could get some cut-ins.
Right.
Yeah, we mentioned it on the show too. Like, he was perfectly timed with that video. That was
so
super
weird.
Impressive.
Because
Every
like
time.
he sent me like a temp video of it, and then I like made this background video that plays in the background for it. And like the idea was that he always like talks about the the era at any given point.
We were there.
And yeah, but I'm talking the fucking.
I know,
audience.
but you made a point to address us. It was just like, no, I know.
I feel like I should be addressing you, but anyway, hold the fuck on.
Talk to the people.
I'm talking to the viewers at home.
Go on.
And like he hit it every single time. It was absolutely insane. So like there wasn't a bad take. It was creepy as shit because he just sent me like a raw file of him on Skype playing it,
Maybe
and
he's a
that's when I
robot.
constructed the video. He might be.
He's got a metronome built into the back of his brain.
yeah, right.
He's just sitting there going,
He plugs in at the end of the night like a Tesla car.
Hooks up to my USB adapter of there when he's on the
He like
couch.
pulls his finger out to be like 120.
You gotta be careful, you have that one that breaks. Like you're supposed to be like, you broke Della Pasta again. Told you not to plug him into that charger.
Have you tried turning him off and on again?
Tried and true.
But yeah, so we shot that. Should be out here in the next week. We can have something like that. Very much like a Nirvana unplugged like influence in it, like with the color scheme and the. Haven't shown you one of the final versions yet, but with the transitions, like
You've added a sweater onto him.
right, and he kills himself in 2 months. It's a little dark, sorry.
Just a bit.
So on this week's episode, we covered. What did we cover? We promoted Overboard, and we took
Overboard.
down
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
So it was a
'cause fuck
Gary
Pretty Woman.
Marshall memorial episode.
Exactly.
Way after the fact.
Yeah. Like,
We're very
We're
prescient.
timely.
Yeah.
You got it there, though. That's important.
But,
You guys mentioned somewhere in there he had a presence in other films, just with that iconic voice. The one that jumps out to me is not The Truman Show. It was Jim Carrey, Frank Darabont film. Help me out. The Majestic.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
The
yeah.
very beginning, it's just like
I
this.
didn't know that was a Darabont film.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That
it's
makes
locked
sense
off.
why I like it.
If you watch in some of his other things, Sand Pirates of the Sahara, the B movie that they make at the beginning of the Majestic, makes a cameo in Mob City.
Okay.
When Mickey Cohen knocks over the lady who's
So,
taking
Bruce
money,
Campbell.
the box
Yeah.
office, she's sitting there reading Sand Pirates of the Sahara.
That's fun.
Which is the Bruce Campbell movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
But
in that.
at the beginning, it's this shot that's on Jim Carrey and all of these other directors. Sidney Pollack might have been in there, but
That's
Rob
cool.
Reiner's in there and Gary Marshall's in there, and they're talking
Rob
about
Reiner.
changing this kid to a dog. It was just like, forget the kid. The kid's a dog. But he's definitely gonna be missed.
Yeah, definitely. You like Overboard, right?
Love Overboard.
God, what a good movie.
It's fantastic.
Love
Kurt Russell.
What was the name of the dude who was in both movies, who was the background in Overboard when he's just like, for love, I sing.
Hector Elizondo.
Oh, yes. That's
so
what you
good.
said, too, in Pretty Woman. That's who I root for in
Yeah.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Hector Elizondo is fantastic.
I'm like, why doesn't he show up at the end in the limo?
right?
Going like, come to rescue. He's got a hotel.
He is
Put
the
her up
audience. And
He rescued her earlier.
You follow him
Yeah.
as the audience.
Yeah, he was the first person to be nice to her.
Yeah.
Before Richard Gere was nice to her.
Right?
So
Yeah.
you're like, I don't get
They're just
this
like, no,
movie.
I purchased you. And he's just like, hey, let's be nice.
How do you feel about Pretty Woman?
It's an okay film.
I feel way overrated.
I
Overrated.
think it's probably overrated. I like Richard Gere, strangely. Like, he's just got some charm. Like, I don't like go out of my way to watch Richard Gere movies, but
Sure.
like if it's on, I'm just like, yeah,
Yes.
there's something to you. And like, I think he's actually a pretty good person. Like, I keep seeing him
Yeah.
pop up in
Other
the
than
news
the gerbil thing.
of things. Yeah,
He
I heard
does a lot
that.
of
I'm just like,
activism
that's
and
odd.
stuff.
But
Oh,
that's
you,
just,
you never heard that rumor?
I'd heard maybe just tangentially, but that's
Sure.
what you guys were talking about. Just like some random guy who was pissed off. It was just
Hollywood
like
producer.
yeah, I'm
planted
just
that
gonna
rumor
start
just
some
to fuck
rumor
his
about
life.
him. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, welcome to this
This town.
fantastic industry.
This town.
Yeah.
He was a Buddhist before it was like a trendy thing. Before Pier 1 started selling. Before you could buy gods at the Pier 1.
And that's the pull quote for this week. In a time before you could buy gods at Pier 1.
So what do you guys got going on this week? What do you got going on this week?
I've got a couple shoots coming up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm working with you guys on one. We're going to do that table read.
Oh yeah, we're shooting Kevin Wednesday, right?
I think that's Wednesday.
I think we're running audio on that. We're gonna babysit
Yeah.
the two
You guys
Zooms
are-
and 12 people on stage.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
That's going to be insane.
aggressive.
Oh, yeah. I'm running the chase camera with my FS7.
We also have to run another snake, because we don't have enough inputs on stage.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't imagine. Why would you want 12 audio inputs at a comedy club?
Yeah.
Comedy with 12 people on
14
stage.
foot stage, 12 people.
Are
It's gonna
12
be
people going to
interesting.
fit on that stage?
We'll make it work, goddammit.
I mean, you're going to have to build like a platform to where
That's
they can
fine.
stadium
Yeah, they'll
stack.
stack them.
Kevin's got money.
Eh.
What are you into this week, Brandon?
Nothing.
All right, well, I'm glad I took a
I
sec to
get
address it.
Sunday, Larry Miller is going to be at the Improv.
That's true.
Larry Miller was in Pretty Woman. He was the expensive shop owner. That
Oh,
was
nice.
like, how obscene are we talking amounts of money? And he's like obscene. He's like, oh, I love you.
He's like, no, suck up to her.
Larry Miller is another one like Hector Elizondo that pops up in a lot of Gary Marshall stuff. He's
Totally.
great.
That's-
He was also in the Eddie Murphy Nutty Professors, which was always my favorite part
I'm not sure I've seen those.
of the it's
You
maybe
haven't?
No, I don't think so.
better off.
I like the
probably
Nutty
not.
I was
Professor.
just old enough to not care about
My
it.
parents
at that
didn't want me
point.
to watch it, but I did.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I grew up in the Midwest,
But
so
they're
it's
Disney
like
films.
the Nutty Professor.
Are they not Disney
No.
films? Maybe I'm thinking of Flubber.
The original Nutty Professor, I think, was a Disney film, but
I want to
am
say
I thinking
it was.
about?
No,
That's
I
Nutty
think
Professor is
that's,
Sherman Klump, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, that was not a Disney movie.
Buddy
Oh.
Love and stuff. No,
Okay.
I don't think Disney owns that.
Okay.
They own Absent-Minded Professor, which became Flubber.
Yes, that's what
okay.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah,
Disney
That's
has a lot of
Professor.
scientist movies, but Jerry Lewis wasn't under Disney.
Okay.
So
I'm waiting for the day you
Fair
talk
enough.
about the Gnome-mobile. Probably the only
Or
other
the-
person on Earth who's seen
or
the
the
Gnome-mobile.
cat from outer space.
Wow. You're referencing things I don't even know.
It's
Cat-
all Disney films, folks.
Yeah, cat from outer space is fun. It's got my favorite. I want
Well
to own
said.
that poster. I've been looking for it. I want to. It's one of my favorite posters from like the '60s.
Okay.
It's amazing.
We'll throw it up real quick. What's the name of it?
The
Right there.
cat from outer space.
Cat from Outer Space.
And you can
there it goes.
put the Gnome-mobile right there.
And there it goes.
Apple Dumpling Gang.
I love that goddamn Don Knotts. Oh, I love Don Knotts.
Who doesn't?
That's an excellent point. If you don't like Don Knotts, you're not a fucking American.
Did you ever
not-
see The Love God?
No.
I
If you
didn't.
like, it's like a
Disney level Don Knotts or like Andy Griffith level Don Knotts? Because he plays like two roles ever in his
But I am
career,
doing-
and that's like the two.
like a satirical
They did,
sex comedy
Mr.
Okay.
Limpet.
oh,
with Don Knotts.
that's a Disney film.
Don Knotts is like a spy, but he has crazy amounts of sex appeal, and he's just like
I think you've told me
kind of
about this
it's
before.
amazing.
That's
It's
amazing.
Find it.
We have to see that.
Don Knotts with sex pill sold. All right, so I think that wraps up the wrap-up. Anybody else got anything they want to add?
Just that my buddy Norm knew him.
Oh, dude, tell us about your buddy Norm real quick.
Norm's awesome.
Can you mute your phone during the recording? You are so fucking unprofessional. God.
Norm's going to be 95 on October 15th.
Fought the Nazis, right?
Fought the Nazis in World War II and won. Built a radio station that controlled the Allied invasion of Normandy.
Engineered red glass.
Yes, he invented red glass that does not require gold.
Right?
Like auto manufacturers came to
back
him
in the day. Like now you have plastic.
For taillights and things. They had to have red glass. So they went to his college, WVU, and were like, "Hey, we need somebody to figure this out." And he worked on it for months and then cracked it finally. They're just like, "We did it." And they're like, but we got plastic now."
Yeah.
It was just like plastic came out last week.
WVU has a lot of those like stories of like
WVU.
West Virginia University. The Mountaineers.
Yeah, because I went to school in Pittsburgh, so close to WVU and stuff, and
Morgantown.
Yeah, they have a lot of like little factoids of like they were the first to get a bunch of cool stuff. Like the great minds apparently back in the day went to. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of like a party school.
No,
I've heard.
That's sad.
But I guess Don Knotts grew up in the same neighborhood as my buddy Norm, and he was really tight with Norm's sister. So whenever he'd come back to, no, I don't think so. I don't think that.
Okay.
But whenever he'd come back home, he'd always take her out to dinner, and they'd all hang out together, and
that's fun.
It's bizarre.
How'd you meet Norm?
Were
you
college.
Interviewing him?
No, I was just my first job once I got into college, because my mom was like, you're either not taking enough credit hours or you need to get a job because you have too much time on your hands. And I was like, all right. So I tried to take more credit hours, and the dean was just like, no, you're maxed out, dude. You can't take more. I was like, fine. So I'll get a job.
You tell my mom that.
Yeah, that's pretty much. But so I got a job as a student worker in the media department because I was going for video production, and I shared basically a desk space with him. There was a long table, and I had a computer and a tape deck and other things and an external monitor, and he was down on the other end of the table making things in Photoshop. He's better in Photoshop than I am still.
And he was like 80 at this point, 86? I'm trying to do the math backwards there real quick. And then guesstimating how old you are.
Steam.
It's 2006 was 10 years ago. He'd been 85. He'd about to be 85.
Okay. Learning, and had just learned all broadcasting stuff because he was tired of his current vocation, right?
Well, no, here's the thing. He was, and we're going to go way over on time.
That's fine.
I apologize for that, but...
just don't kill the camera.
I will try not to.
Be more intriguing than Billy Jack.
Nobody's more intriguing than Billy Jack.
So he... after World War II, he went back to school to finish his degree, got married, started his family, and then did some time in Korea reclassifying a battleship. And they got to a point where they were like, well, we're either going to have to promote him to be an officer or we can discharge him. And they're like, discharge him because we don't want to make him an officer for whatever reason.
Okay.
So then he was a chemical engineer for his entire career.
Wow.
Until he retired. And then... This is what he tells me, and I mean, Dick Van Dyke says the same thing. I'm just like, how do you do it, man?
Don't stop.
Exactly. Keep moving. And he told me it's just like he watched his dad retire from the glass plant. And Norm, that was one of his first jobs, is he became like a master glass cutter at the glass plant in Clarksburg. He said he watched his dad sit down in a chair, and within a year he was dead. And just like, not going to do it. Not going to do it. So he built a wood shop in the back of his house and just built things. And then there was the local college there started offering senior classes for television production. And they ran the local access TV station there. So he met a bunch of other people. He and his wife went, and a bunch of seniors made television shows.
That's cool.
Until they all just started, going their own ways. And I think he's probably the only one who's still around, but he volunteered at the school for 22 years.
What
probably
a crazy
26
existence.
years. And now he still tinkers with Photoshop. He goes to Starbucks every day and sits and hangs out with a bunch of other dudes.
That's
and
badass.
He's
my
hero.
See, that's why Forrest Gump's overrated. Because there's more interesting people that do amazing things and have
Forrest
like a
Gump
million.
wasn't real.
What? That's what my point is. That's why it's overrated. Because there's real life stories you could tell. Like,
Sure.
Okay,
where's
yeah,
the
fair
Norm
enough.
movie?
It's
I'd watch
coming.
that.
I'll make it.
Good on you.
Like, no, we gotta do Forrest Gump.
I feel like I kind of know Norm. I've heard so many
I talk about him a
tales.
lot. I really do.
Which rightfully so. I'm not knocking you.
That's-
Like,
I mean,
the
he was
dude
in
sounds-
London during
They don't
the
make him
Blitz.
like him anymore. Is
Yeah, exactly.
How I
They
take
don't.
it.
He tells stories about his his mother. She was tough. He'd said something to her, and she just decked him like across the kitchen table, just laid him out. Basically, Gertrude was her name. Yeah, he's just a neat guy.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up the wrap up. We'll drop in occasionally, get some more Norm stories from
Sure.
you. I like that. But until next time, this
We'll Skype
is
him in.
Josh Roush. Oh yeah, no, we totally gotta do that. This is Josh Roush.
Mitch Cleaver.
Andrew Heberlin.
Wait, it's not see you next one. What's our sign off?
See you when we see you.
See you
We'll
when
see
we
when we
see
see
ya.
you. If the camera doesn't die.
Buffering joke.